Hi guys, just want to go over, this is going to be some ignition timing and boost ignition timing using ECU Editor. So to give you a little background, I got two computers up. This is a run from May 2001, my first Ohio mile run of the year. I went 206 miles an hour. And what I'm going to do is kind of try and explain to you how this portion, the boost retard ignition, works as far as when you have the percent of boost fuel, percent of TPS. So hopefully you can see, if you look at this column, this is boost pressure, and at, let's say, 13 psi, it should be pulling out approximately 16% of my factory ignition. So if we go to my if we go to my ignition timing, now this is again a 750, turbo 750 on ethanol, so don't go put in these numbers in your Hayabusa. So I'd be running around 39 degrees of timing at 1200 or 12,000 RPMs. I'm going to go to a log that I have open. We'll go to TPS. So it'll take a second to populate. What I can do is I can show you on my other computer. We're going to go to a log. I'll initially show you what we're looking at here. This is the run. So as you can see here, I'm in first gear. I was really kind of grannying it. We're at 1 pound of boost. So I'm going to go right away to fifth gear, because that's where I'm trying to show you. So this is fifth gear, running around 12 pounds of boost, fifth gear. I'm getting about 35 degrees of timing at 12,000, around 500 RPMs. Okay, so I'm getting actually 35 degrees of timing. Now I'm going to verify that using the okay. So here we have the actual ECU Editor logs, and at 12,000 RPM in fifth gear, 35 degrees of ignition timing at around 12 pounds of boost, so 11 pounds of boost. Now, if you go back to my factory ignition timing, I have 39 degrees. 35 degrees is a little lower than 16%. So if you take 39 degrees and take 16% of that, you'd think you'd get more around 33 degrees of timing. But what happens is, I should go back to my engine logs, is I believe that if we look at my intake air temperature, let's see, IAT, intake air temp, I'm at 37 degrees Celsius. Now that's with 12 pounds of boost. So you're looking at around 90 degrees intake air temp, 90, 95, 99 degrees intake air temp on 12 pounds of boost. Now the thing with ECU Editor is it has some separate maps that you cannot see. So I believe that as your intake temps go down, it will start adding degrees of timing that you can't actually see. So again, we'll show you that I had 35 degrees of ignition. Let's see if you can see that. 35 degrees of ignition, 12,500 on about 12 pounds of boost. And again, if we go to factory ignition, 12,000. I should be at right around 39 if we didn't have any boost ignition retard. So what I'm basically telling you is with these numbers right here, look at that as a percent of ignition taken out, not the actual number of ignition that it will take out. And the other thing is you kind of have to play with these numbers because the ECU, a computer, does a lot of guesstimation. So if it sees 12.5 pounds, you're in the 13-pound column. But anything up to, let's say anything up to possibly even 11.5, it's still in the 9-pound column. Okay? And the other thing you got to be careful is that there are other maps that you're not seeing on ECU Editor that are adding and subtracting timing based on other variables that we cannot control in this system. But I do just want to tell you that the ignition timing does work. The ignition timing does retard. Ignition timing retard does work, but it's based on a percentage. As far as I can tell, especially if you have the percentage of TPS. All right, that's all it is.